Everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you? I am so happy to be here with you today. I am making a really cute treat holder that holds one of the hand sanitizers by Bath and Body Works. This is a sample. The one in here is a peach colored one, still along the summer line, and they are so cute to give as gifts. They're great teacher gifts or coworker gifts. They're just awesome to have these little pocket backs. And so definitely check these out at Bath and Body Works, and I'm going to show you how to make this cute little treat holder to go with it. So you can see here on the back I have some kind of cloudish paper that is cut with the In the Clouds embossing folder, which is a super cool embossing folder. And we are using Paradise Palms bundle today. So we are using the palm here on our piece, and we're using the sentiment out of Wishing You a Warm and Beachy Kind of Day for our little holder. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to show you how to make this adorable, easy little treat holder. So we're going to start with 2 pieces of cardstock. This one I'm going to make the opposite color of the last one. So this one's going to be Pale Papaya, and its accent piece is going to be Tahitian Tide. So the piece of Pale Papaya is 2 inches by 9.5 inches. And the piece of Tahitian Tide is 2 inches by 6.5 inches. And those are the 2 pieces that you need to make this really cool little hand sanitizer holder that is super simple and super cute. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to grab my Simply Scored tool, and I'm going to show you where we're going to score these 2 pieces. This is a really simple little thing that you can make. We're going to use our Simply Scoreboard. I'm going to move that out of the way. And so we're putting it in here, and here you have the 9.5 inches and 2 inches. That's the size of this piece. We're going to score this in 2 places. So I'm going to grab my score tool that's attached to this board, and we're going to do it at 4 1/4 and at 5 1/4. All right, so we're forming like this little section here in the center. That's all we need to score this one piece. And then the piece of Tahitian Tide, we're going to score that in a few places. So we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. We're going to score it at 1.5 inches. We're going to score it at 3 1/4 inches. And we're going to score it at 4.5 inches. So 1/2 inch, 1.5, 3 1/4, and 4.5. And I have run this through the embossing folder. So the folders are rather large. I'm going to show you. And when you go ahead and stick it in here, you want to make sure that the little 1/2 inch piece is the part that is not showing. Okay, so that's the part that's going to get attached. So you're going to run this through your folder, and then the piece that sticks out, it doesn't matter. That's going to be your 1/2 inch piece that you're going to put into the corner, okay? So let me move this out of the way. And we're going to drop my stylus. I wanted to put my board back, so let me grab that real quick. Sorry about my creaky chair, but it is the most comfortable chair. It just creaks, and I haven't been able to figure out what part of it is actually creaking. I think it's just old and tired. Okay, so we're going to use our bone folder, and we're going to score along these, burnish along these score marks. Okay, so there is this piece. And then we have our other marked pieces, so we're going to score along those. Just like that. Okay, so this is our other piece. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we are going to get our decorative edge. We used to have punches that were tag bordered punches, but they've retired. I still have mine, but I wanted to show you, if you don't have them, what you can do. If you have your border tag punches, go ahead and stick them in there and cut your decorative border, any border that you want. I'm going to use the Label Me Lovely punch, and I'm going to show you how I use that to make my border. So I'm going to stick this piece in from the underside and push it into the punch. Now this seam line that has that score mark that I made, I'm gonna bring it right to the end of my punch where it falls down. You see that? And then I'm just gonna make sure that my 2-inch piece is positioned in my punch, and I'm gonna give it a punch, okay? That's what falls out. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna slide it in, all the way in. If it's gonna cooperate, let's see. Of course it doesn't want to cooperate because, you know, I'm live on filming myself, and so it just wants to be silly. Let's see if I can give it a little bend here to help it. Come on, guys. All right, there we go. So you're going to slide it in there, and then you're going to pull it back. Remember that first score mark, when it bends over the edge of your punch, just make sure that your piece of cardstock is centered in that piece there, and then you're gonna let that piece bend over the end, and then you're gonna give it a punch. Okay, so that's the piece that's left over there. You're gonna join your 2 points together, and that's your decorative edge of your punch. Now, I wanted a hole there because I wanted to put some ribbon through it. So this is a retired punch that we used to have called a detailed trio punch, but any circle punch that you have will work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a pencil mark right here in the center, approximately where I want my piece to go. And I'm gonna line it up with the circle of this detailed punch, and I'm gonna line that in there. I'm just gonna give it a press, and then there's my little holes that I need for my piece. So that's gonna be right there. Gonna get that out of the way. Any circle punch will work, and any punch like this that you can slide in will also work, but this Label Me Lovely is still available in my online store, so that's a perfect one for you guys to use. We're gonna discard this piece right here. So now I want to sponge our cardstock. So I'm gonna grab a scrap piece. I always have scrap paper on my desk, and I'm gonna grab a scrap piece of paper here. I'm going to bring it out, and I'm just going to lay my piece down. I'm going to grab the same color ink. I'm going to grab my blending brush. I'm going to ink it, and then I'm just going to run that along both sides and along this top edge just to give it a little bit of texture. And then I'm going to run it along this score mark here. Okay, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to run it along that edge, along the top, along the side, and then lastly, along that score marked edge. I just don't want it to be flat color. I kind of want it to have a little bit of definition. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my Tahitian Tide ink and my Tahitian Tide piece. So I'm going to take my blending brush, and I'm going to ink the sides all the way down. I just like having that little bit of definition on my edges. Just like that. Okay? Let's go ahead, while I have this ink pad open, I'm going to go ahead and grab this small little piece. Oh gosh, I don't even know the size of it. Let me grab my ruler. It's just a scrap piece that I had. It looks like it's about 7/8 of an inch by 2 inches, but anything that will fit this sentiment is all you need. So we're going to ink that into the Tahitian Tide. And let's go ahead and bring it down here where I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to stamp that onto my piece. There we go. Now I am done with the ink pad. I'm going to go ahead and clean my stamp. And I'm going to put these blending brushes away. And I'm actually going to trim this piece down. So I'm going to grab my scissor. And I'm just going to bring it in here, and I'm just going to bring it a little closer, which is why it says it doesn't really matter the size paper you're going to use. You're just going to trim it down. And I'll put that over here off to the side, and I'll use that in a minute. Let's go ahead and glue our little hand sanitizer holder together. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to put our little hand sanitizer in here, and it helps to have it held, okay? And we're gonna wrap this piece around, and I want this to be my back, okay? So I'm gonna turn it this direction. These are my sides, just like this. And this is my back. I think I have my measurement off just slightly. I think I might have moved. Let me bring that back in there. I don't think that I left myself enough. Let me try the score marks again. Sorry guys, it happens. All right, let's try this one more time. So we're gonna do 1/2 inch. Maybe I just messed up what I was scoring it. 1/2 inch, 1.5 inch. And then a 3 3/4. Oops. Okay. 3 3/4 of an inch, and then 4.5 inches. There we go. That's much better. So we have 4.5, 3 1/4, 1.5. Make sure that you guys have the right score marks, because I obviously messed up. So I have the 1/2 inch, the 1.5 inch, the 3 1/4 inch, and then the 5.5 inch. And so that should, now we're good. Sorry guys, mine has a couple extra score marks, but it'll be covered up. It's not really a big deal. I don't worry about stuff like that. You can always cut another piece, but for time constraints, I'm gonna go ahead and just roll with this piece here. And even though it has that extra seam, I'll just put my palm over the top of it and it'll be fine. So let's go ahead and get it ready. So we're gonna wrap it around, and this time it's gonna fit, yes. Okay. So we're gonna put this on our piece, just like so. And we're gonna start with our little 1/2 inch piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my adhesive on there. And since that's the back, I wanna make sure, yeah, that's the back. I'm gonna bring that around, bring it to the front, bring that over, and I'm gonna join that and get that good. Perfect. Get that to really grab. I'm gonna slide this out and really get that piece there to grab. And I love the wiggle room of our wet adhesive, which is why I slid that out so that I could really get it good, but it helps to have it in there when you first start. Okay, so that's the back. And then we have this piece here, and this, whoops, this is the back piece. There we go. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and put our border edge here. This is our back end. Sorry, I have too many score marks on here now, and it's a little bit confusing. I'm gonna lay those down and really mark them and lay it this way now so that I will get, all right. So now we're gonna go ahead and slide this back into our holder. You can either do it from the top or the bottom. And I'm gonna slide this up. And I'm gonna use my palm to cover up that score mark that is incorrect on the front of my piece. So let's go ahead and grab our palm. So I'm gonna get my silicone mat. Here it is. I'm gonna use my wet adhesive, and I'm gonna put, this time we're having a pale papaya because, like I said, we're doing the opposite color. I'm just gonna add just a few little dabs of wet adhesive. As you can see, I am getting some of the mat, which is why I use the mat. I'm gonna grab my tweezers, I'm gonna pick up my palm, and then I'm gonna figure out which is the best way to kind of mask. I think this way. to mask that those score marks are not as pretty or as awesome as I wanted them to be, but it's okay. Like I said, it's a handmade piece, so we're gonna go ahead and put that over the top. All right, now I'm gonna slide this piece down a little, and I'm gonna put some wet adhesive at the top, and I'm gonna do the same on the back across here, and then I'm gonna slide this over, and it's gonna grip in that one spot there. So I'm just gonna slide with the sides right up over that piece, and I'm gonna press it into place. Let's go ahead and pop that hand sanitizer out. I'm gonna press it into place so that it'll hold and not slide off of my piece. So just a line of adhesive there. Then we're gonna go ahead and put this guy back in here. Let's go ahead and get our dimensionals. This is what's so awesome about the silicone mat. You see that adhesive that I got on there? It just rubs right off onto your fingers. You just ball it up, and into the trash goes that adhesive. We're gonna use some dimensionals on our little piece here. Let's put 3, 1 on each end and 1 in the center. And let's go ahead and pull the backs off. I like to use the Take Your Pick tool for that. That way they all end up on my Take Your Pick tool, not on my floor. And let's go ahead and put our sentiment down here, which will cover again that score line, so it's quite perfect. All right, looking good so far. And I have used our Pale Papaya open weave ribbon. It's a beautiful ribbon. It comes on a roll like this, and I will link it in the description below. So if you're interested in getting some of this really pretty pretty ribbon, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna push the ends through both holes here. And then we're gonna wrap them through that loop. And then I'm gonna hold on to them and pull. And that's a little long, so let's trim those off. I have some ribbon cutting scissors that I like to use, so I'm grabbing those. We're gonna go ahead and cut the ribbon like that. And then the finishing touch, this is a sneak peek product. It will be available July 1st in the new mini catalog. If you don't have a demonstrator and you would like to have a copy of the mini catalog, let me know in the comments below or send me a message and I would be happy to help you out. We have these awesome little gems called Fine Sparkle Adhesive Back Gems. And they have some really beautiful colors. So since I used the Pale Papaya ones on this, I'm going to use the Tahitian Tide this time. And I'm going to use the other end of my Take Your Pick tool, the putty end. I'm going to grab one of these large ones and put it right here. And we'll grab a small one to go with it. And then we'll put the other large one down here at the bottom. And so this is a sneak peek product. But on July 1st, you'll be able to order that. So not too much longer. Not too bad, right? I'm not making you wait too long. Just a week away, but I did want to show you a really fun product. So what do you think of this adorable little hand sanitizer holder? I think it turned out super awesome. I'm happy, even with its extra little score marks in there. I think it still looks great. It's a perfect little gift to give to a coworker or a neighbor or a teacher. And I hope that you enjoyed watching me make it. Again, I used this week, I'm focusing on the Paradise Palms bundle, which is the stamp set and dies. And here are our adorable little hand sanitizer holders that are very simple to make. Thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate that. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts, and I'm happy to be here. Thanks again. Happy stamping, guys.